Well, good Friday morning. I wanted to say good morning, America.
Good morning, Houston.
Good
Good
morning,
morning,
Houston.
Houston.
Yeah, how about that? It's a wonderful Friday morning, and welcome to our regular Friday podcast. However, I am your host today, Leondria Thompson, President and Chairman of the Board of Directors and the CEO. I wear a lot of hats, guys.
Mhm.
Yes, you do.
And I'm I'm having to remember what I'm supposed to be saying because I don't normally host the podcast. Okay. So we thank our president and chairman club members. We do have president, chairman club members for uh, supporting our Let's Talk business podcast. These are Amico Federal Credit Union, Enlightenment Enterprises, Lamar Institute of Technology out of Beaumont, Lone Star College, North Houston, the Linwood Group, and Quality Precision Coating. All right, I got that down.
Gotta get them out the way.
Okay, so today our topic every day is member showcase. Every day, even Monday through Sunday, is member showcase. So we are about our members. I'm sure you're aware of our mission statement. We are committed to acquiring and disseminating valuable business information, resources, and tools for our member firms to achieve entrepreneurial parity and economic prosperity in the U.S. and international. So this is a great day for me today because not only do we have our two members here
Yes.
who are going to be, they're going to blow up not only in the U.S. but international. So I want to introduce Diane Baldry. Did I say that right,
Hello.
Diane?
Yes, you did.
And Diane, your company is DB Baldry Enterprises,
Yes.
and Diane is a member. This show is only about members. Okay, so when you see some folks that's not a member on here, question why we have them on
Why
here.
you not a member?
Yeah.
And why you on here?
Why you on here? That's the best question. And then that voice that chimed in is Damian Lawson. And Damien is 365 Ideas, right?
Correct.
LLC. So let's start. They say we always start with the ladies
Of course.
first, right?
Sure.
So Damon is in here. He's pushing that.
Chivalry
Well,
still
thank,
alive.
well, thank you. I
Okay.
believe in chivalry.
All right, Diane. So I have two questions, but you can answer. You can tell us
Okay.
about DB Boundary Enterprises,
Okay.
what you do as a member, and why did you become a member?
Sure.
So let's start with you, and then you can answer
Yes.
that last question.
So I will tell you, I'm a corpreneur. So
Okay,
as a
okay.
corpreneur, I have a 9 to 5 where I work in corporate America. And then I also have my many entrepreneurial hats that you wear.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's where the corporate could.
But no, I was-
Corporate.
Yeah, me too. I'm like, I
saw
heard that. I'm
the
like, what that mean?
confusion.
That's a new one.
Corpreneur.
Yeah, corporate new.
Yes.
Okay.
Working in corporate and entrepreneurism.
Okay.
Together.
Right.
Yes.
Is that catching on with a lot of corporations with their employees?
Well, we're finding that since the pandemic, there have been births of so many new
Okay.
businesses and people following through with their entrepreneurial dreams.
Ah.
But they're holding on to that 9 to 5, either because
Okay.
they like it or they need the financial security from it.
Okay.
Yes.
Right,
And when they're ready, it's just like a baby learning
Yes.
how to walk,
Mm-hmm.
crawl. When that baby starts standing up, it's holding on to something.
Mhm.
It's not letting it go
Right,
yet.
right.
Not yet.
True.
Yeah.
Yes.
True.
Very good. Okay.
Yes. So I focus on finances and people's career. Me personally, I have a business called the Stay Hungry Club. And then, so it's very important to me that we have financial stability and financial wellness. So from there, I elevated to say, you know what, we need to take this bigger and deeper. And let's look at our communities. Let's look
Yeah.
at what we can do to create jobs. And from that, we birthed the DB Boundary Enterprises. So I just want to give a little background
Okay.
history with
Wonderful.
that.
Okay.
Okay.
So with DB Boundary Enterprises, we have the opportunity to work locally, but also internationally.
Mhm.
So when I learned that the Chamber of Commerce here was actually, and you were for spearheading the international trade mission with Belize, then I had to jump on board.
Oh, yes,
I had to
yes.
jump on board.
Yeah, you got a background with.
And yes, so I am a natural born citizen of Belize. So I'm a Belizean American, and my family is basically still there.
Okay.
So to have the opportunity to help the economy
Oh, yes.
and to help people create careers for themselves and
Mhm.
financial independence for themselves is a dream that it just goes beyond everything
Oh, yes.
I ever imagined.
It is. It truly is.
Yes.
You might want to. We're gonna let Damien
Yes.
go ahead and talk about Damien because we got a lot to talk
Yeah,
about
hey.
Yes,
when it comes
go
to
right
that
ahead.
international trade mission. Okay.
Well, hello, my name is Damian Lawson. I'm the founder and CEO of 365 Ideas, which is a full service marketing and advertising agency. I provide, an array of services
Mhm.
from, copywriting, script writing for TV and radio spots, graphic design, SEO, display advertising, also media buying and planning in the traditional space and the digital space, that being from broadcast TV, cable TV, outdoor billboards, transit advertising, um, display advertising, SEO, and social media marketing and advertising from all the various platforms. But I more or less deal with, or should I say, my clients have, YouTube, the LinkedIn's, Twitter, and Facebook. But I'm also familiar with and know how to put together advertising campaigns on, say, TikTok, the Instagrams and Snapchat, and so on and so on.
Well, fantastic.
Just to list
Wow.
a few,
Okay, so 365 ideas. You went with every day.
every day.
There's an idea, right?
Yeah, my tagline is our ideas are the best ideas, and so the whole
Okay.
concept behind 365 days, 365 ideas, the ideas that can work every day of the year, including a leap
Okay.
year.
Fantastic.
Nice.
So how long you been doing what you 365
Well,
ideas?
personally, probably, man, 25 years of experience. I actually have a BA in marketing from the University of Houston downtown.
Okay.
But I actually incorporated my company back in 2017.
Okay.
January 2017 to be exact. But I was still doing, some contract work and stuff like that. After my last contract ended with Hewlett Packard Enterprises in July 2019, I was like, you know what, the hell with this. I'm about to start just building up my company from the ground up and start putting all the clients underneath my brand. And so I started doing that in late 2019. And then I went on my first trade mission to Costa Rica in February of 2019 with the National Black Chamber of Commerce.
Okay. And one of our members was on that trade mission.
Oh, really? Yeah. Probably. Who?
Jamal.
Jamal. That's right. Jamal Titus. I had to think for a minute. I'm like,
Yeah.
Jamal Titus. Yeah. So that's how I met Jamal.
Uh-huh.
And so, we went to San Jose then for the most part. Then we, ventured to the Caribbean side, which is where we're at, if you know where we're, I mean, black people.
Yes.
So
that's where we are.
And then the pandemic hit maybe 2 weeks later after I got back. And so I'm just really this year getting back out there.
Okay.
And so that's why I've been on several trade missions and stuff like that. South Africa, went to Ghana and Belize.
Okay.
And so, because my whole focus is to export my products or service, in my case, internationally.
Yeah, this is a global economy now.
Yes.
It's a global and a digital a digital economy.
Yeah.
It's not to say I would totally neglect, what's going on here locally or domestically.
It's a part of it.
But it's a part of it. But I know from my own research and that in order to grow and scale your company faster is to export your products and services internationally.
Yes.
And so I'm looking to work with small to medium-sized enterprises, certain sectors I'm very interested in, like the tourism sector, but that's not the only sectors, right?
Right.
But I know a lot of these countries, that's some of their, major economic pillars as it relates to their GDP.
Yeah.
So I was focused on that, but I'm interested in just helping, period.
Yeah. Well, we have members, and both of you will get an opportunity to give out your information, how members can contact you, and website, phone number, because this is member showcase. Every member comes, we serve a large area well, I can truthfully say about 400,000 small businesses in the area that we serve. So we
Wow.
serve 12 counties.
Oh
Right.
my goodness.
Our infrastructure is designed for 18 counties. So how do you, when we start, to give you a brief, just a short version, you've heard of regions, right?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So each region has 3 counties. Those 3 counties are connecting counties. So what happens with our members, you have the opportunity to do business with all of those members, all of the people in those 12 counties, which is over 365 businesses if you're doing business with other
My
business
goodness.
people. So this is our podcast is a way to get the information out fast
Sure.
to
Mhm.
all of our, because we do have events in different regions, but our podcast, and we do it every Friday, and it is posted on our website every Wednesday. So you could go back and see this podcast, and you can even clip it.
I critique myself. I don't even want to look at it.
Yeah, you gonna look at
You
it.
got always to critique
You gonna-
yourself.
Yes, that's what we do.
But the key is you critique it. But that's why we're saying now we usually would have briefings, but
Right.
since we did have a briefing, we're gonna say we had a briefing.
Yeah.
But the key is you can actually take the link and put it in your social medias.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Right.
So because this is how we spread information about our members. So you will have that opportunity. So let's go back to Diane. Diane,
Yes.
you were on the mission.
Yes.
As Damien
What a
brought
wonderful
out.
experience.
Yeah.
Was that your
Indeed.
first trade mission? You see, Damien is World Trade
Yeah,
Mission.
Oh,
too.
you've
That's
been
what-
everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't
Just to
know what
list
you
a few of
have
the
left.
things, Australia, Brazil, Jamaica,
But again,
Toronto.
and that's because 365 ideas.
365.
Yeah. So
And it's
he's
about investing in
global.
yourself too.
Yeah.
This is what this is.
Yes,
This is not play for me, at all.
It's business.
Yeah.
It is business.
Yeah. So was this the Belize mission? Was that your
This
first
was
trade
my
mission?
first experience as a trade mission.
Okay.
And it was absolutely wonderful to be able to meet the mayor of Belize, the deputy mayor. We were at the embassy, the U.S. embassy. And so to be exposed to the level of leadership that we were was absolutely amazing. And to also understand how receptive they were to getting investments and to partnering with us and collaborating with us was very eye-opening.
Mhm.
Yes.
Well, we stepped on the Belize soil in 2005. Our international initiative grew from the fact that, as Damien mentioned earlier, we cannot just look at making money or being prosperous in our backyards.
Right.
We have to get out because people need your services. Who need your services? Somebody else,
Yes.
and not necessarily in this country. So our first trade mission to Belize was 2005, and we thought we would go to different countries. Well, Belize wouldn't let us go. So now you see why
Yeah.
they would not let us go. Like, no, we need you guys. We need you here.
Mhm.
You mentioned the embassy and the ambassador there that was appointed by President Biden, Michelle Kwan.
Yes.
And, she was an Olympic ice skater.
Right.
Yes.
But she had us pose. Yeah, did you do the ice skating pose?
Yes, we did the
I
ice skating
did.
pose together.
When we took the picture.
I didn't
So-
remember who she was. I was like, hold on. It
Oh,
registered. I'm
yeah.
like,
Ice skating, yes.
yeah.
And those pictures will be sent to us,
Okay.
but they got to go through
Wonderful.
their protocol to
Right.
make sure that there's nothing, when a spy wants to capture information, he'll say, oh, let's take a picture.
Mm-hmm.
And you thinking you're in a picture with someone and they snapping something else.
Right.
And so they have to review all of those pictures and then they'll
Sure.
be up on the embassy's website.
Oh, wow.
Their Facebook.
Oh,
Y'all know
really?
I'm not
Wow.
a Facebook person. So I guess whatever it is,
Whatever social platform.
yeah,
they
whatever
have.
social platform
Right.
they're gonna have,
Oh,
they'll be there with,
Okay.
because we didn't take those pictures just to say we took pictures. We want to see the pictures.
Yeah.
yes.
And also, Council Member Edward Pollard went with us on this mission,
Right.
Mhm.
and he has pictures posted on his Instagram.
Oh,
So I'll
I
send
have
you
to
the
check.
link. Did you
Okay.
see them?
No, I haven't seen them.
Oh yeah,
No.
and I got pictures of you holding a little feeder fish, and you looking this way.
With feeding the tarpons. I had
Yes.
a video too.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
we
did see that one.
What they told me last time, like, look, if I look, I know I'm gonna drop the fish if I see him coming up. So let me just turn my head. And
wait a minute. When he turned his head,
Uh-huh.
because you hold the fish, they
Yeah.
tell you don't hold the fish like this
Right.
because they can grab you like.
Your
So
hand.
you hold the fish like this. When they come up, you can let go.
Oh.
And not only was he holding the fish like this and looking like this, when he realized that fish had come up and got his fish, he was hollering.
Hey, look, but the first one, that was the second time.
He was screaming.
Because the first one,
I missed that.
the fish missed the fish.
Oh, the fish
It
missed
hit my wrist.
That's
Oh.
why you was hot.
So the second time,
Oh.
that's
He
the
thought
second.
he
That was the
thought
second
he
video.
got it.
That's the second video I had to do. I was like, well, the fish blind or what?
Did it bite or anything?
No,
Or
it just hit me.
It just
It
hit
left a
you.
little bruise.
Because
initially.
at the the force
Yeah.
of
Mhm,
coming
of
up. But they have no teeth.
So I had to do it again.
Oh, and that's why you were.
I mean, the
you
fish
were
was. I mean, the fish
The
was
fish-
big.
The fish at least what 3 to 4 feet.
Them fish are big.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
wow.
I got a video of
Yeah.
everybody, but
And they
something
jump
about,
up
yeah.
and eat. So this is when you went to Kekaka. You
You're
didn't
right.
go.
I missed out on
Yeah,
that.
well, I
fun and
missed out on
excitement.
that one
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Because we've been in Belize now for 17 years.
Yes.
We've seen all of the islands.
Yes.
We've been from the
Oh,
north of
man.
Belize to the south of Belize. So we saw a lot. So this was your first trade mission, and I'm sure it won't be the last.
No.
But I'm sure that usually what we do when we do a trade mission is so that you can have that experience
Mhm.
of going to a country looking at something different
Right.
than being a tourist.
Right.
Right.
Okay, so I'm glad you were able to participate. So you basically gave me I was actually speaking about the ambassador.
Yes.
She arrived on Friday in Belize, and we were her first U.S. citizens that she had the opportunity to meet in the country
Right.
that she's
Yes.
representing the U.S. So that was a big thing for them because what they had planned to do for us, they didn't do. And they were going to go through all the opportunities that they were aware of. The embassy purchase and buys things from the U.S.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
So you're still open. So we'll to be able to do business in Belize with the U.S. Embassy there, as well as other Belizeans. So,
Wonderful.
what was your takeaway?
My takeaway is that there is quite a bit of opportunity to create and build businesses and help to build the economy there in Belize, and make that sustainable,
Mhm.
so that in generations to come, we're basically creating legacies,
Mhm.
both in the U.S. and in Belize.
Mm-hmm.
So now the next step is just fine tuning what exactly that business is going to be, what that investment will look like, and who will be collaborating partners, mainly within our group here.
Right.
Yes, so very excited about that.
Yeah, it is. It's every trip we make is exciting.
Yes.
Really, we see something else each time. There's some projects that the chamber is involved in which means all of chamber members have opportunity to be involved in those projects, and those projects are definitely sustainable. So Damien,
Yes,
what's
ma'am.
your takeaway?
There are a lot of opportunities there in Belize, or potential opportunities,
Mhm.
especially on the main island, Belize City.
Yeah.
A lot of money needs to be injected into Belize City, especially close to the water. I can see that being, major tourist destination, and they can have all different type of tourisms there, whether it be culinary, cultural, and things like that. So that's interesting to me for the tourism side of things, because I know that makes up at least 50% of their GDP,
Yeah.
right? And so, it's about forming those partnerships and in Belize and wherever else, So it's just not about, say, me and what I can gain from that. It's like, what can I contribute to the local economy and the local citizens, whether it be me opening a business there or partnering with an existing business there
Mhm.
and helping them to grow and scale and increase their revenue. So in turn, that would allow them to hire more people, especially the younger generation. You look at it, what, 442,000 people,
Right.
what, 50% is under the age of 20. So if you can help grow that local economy outside of the islands, right? I'm
Yeah,
interested in the
yeah,
islands as
yeah,
well,
yeah.
but
But
right there on the mainland, because I
mhm.
think that's where the
Mhm.
most work and investment is needed. That's
Mhm.
from when we were driving
Mhm.
around and seeing some of the rundown buildings and stuff like that. So I think a lot of investment and money needs to be injected right there to build these buildings up, turn them into something multi-purpose, mixed development use type of
Yeah.
building. So that
Mhm.
way you can get the influx of tourists, not just going to the islands,
Mhm.
but also being right there on the
Mhm.
mainland,
Mhm.
or where they can do both, because it's putting
Yeah.
money right there,
Right.
then hiring the locals. Then that also
Yeah.
inspires them.
Mhm.
It's about economic empowerment across the board.
Yeah. Thank you for that takeaway, Diane, as well. What I will add is that one of the things that we've learned over the 17 years is it doesn't require a lot of money to get started.
No.
It requires getting started, and like here in the U.S., you have an EB-5 visa. Are you familiar with that?
I've heard of it.
Okay,
Mhm.
EB-5 visa in the U.S. says that if you invest $1 million, then and create 10 permanent jobs, that's an investment visa that we will give you. Eventually, you will be a U.S. citizen. I think you have 2 years. Every country has what they call foreign direct investments. They want foreigners to invest in their country because what that means, money will flow, education will flow. There's two things a country has to do, and that is feed its people and
Mm-hmm.
educate its people.
Facts.
And so when you have
Mhm.
uh, opportunity to feed and educate, a country grows. And what we've learned about Belize is that opportunity doesn't, you don't have to come in there with your money. Now, we're talking about
Yes.
money,
Right.
Yes.
but you do have to have the equity.
Sure.
And it's not high. It's a
Mhm.
small, that was what was so amazing to us, is the small amount of equity. When we're talking about EB-5, we're talking about $1 million or 500,000. But in Belize, that equity is much, much smaller. However, you do need to be financed. So you do need to have debt financing. And we got the Development Finance Corporation of the United States government. So you have a whole lot of ways to
Yeah.
be able to get some things. I gave the government a little plug. Okay. There's Exim Bank,
Right.
which is, we're partners with Exim Bank to where
Okay.
there's a lot of whatever the export is. Export can
Right.
also be in services.
Mm-hmm.
People don't realize
Right.
service is also an export.
Yeah.
If you're going over there to teach, to train,
Yeah.
it's an export
Right.
because you're taking that, what we call knowledge.
Intellectual property.
That's the word, girl.
Yes.
I knew I was gonna mess that word up. So I had to go someplace else.
Yes.
Your intelligence is what you gain from here, the information, your activities, and now you're exporting it to another country.
Right.
So that's an export. So there's all kind of ways to get you moving into that, because when you don't know, it looks hard.
Mhm.
Sure.
And when when you haven't experienced it, or someone is a mentoring, it looks like, how am I going to do that? There's no way,
Right.
but there is.
Right.
And this is why we have the chamber has an international initiative, because every member of this chamber is involved together to get it done. Gotta have people. You
Yeah.
cannot. You can't
Right.
do very much. I don't think there's nothing. Well, some people have told me, yeah, there's some things you can do by yourself.
Yeah.
Not a whole
Certain
lot,
things,
no.
Yeah, there's some things you can do by.
Yeah, certain things.
However, if I go a little step farther, well, you didn't grow that food you ate,
Right.
so you didn't do that by. You may have ate it by. You say
Right.
it may have been
somebody has to grow it.
eliminated, but
Right.
And partnerships. I mean, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes, being American, we go to a foreign country, we think things are supposed to happen just like this. So even I at times had to like, okay, take your American cap off and put on the local cap, because we used to having things this way and things like that.
Yeah.
And so going back to what you were saying about exporting your services, because I was having this conversation with some of the delegates on the Belize trip, and I was like, you don't have to always invest so-called in your money in a country, but you can invest your time or your sweat equity, right? Going to the training after having the meetings with Bell Trade and having a conversation with you. It's like training is a big deal here, and it's needed here.
Yes.
So it's like, and had me thinking like, okay, what in the hell can I do for his training? That be relevant or what's needed here. So that's another avenue.
And it's exportable.
And it's exportable.
And guess what? There's opportunity. There's ways to be able for the let's say the currency to flow.
Yeah, because knowledge is also currency. We just always look at the dollars.
Yeah.
I'll say, but knowledge is also currency.
If you had 10 chickens and somebody else had 10 goats, well, they may 10 chickens may get one goat.
Okay.
But that's trading.
Yeah, the barter.
That is trading. That is bartering, as one time it was called. And where the coins come later on in history, we started having coins, and coins was easy to represent that. And the US used to have money, minerals, silver and gold that backed that US dollar. Now that US dollar is what we call a certificate of I will pay.
Fiat currency.
Yes. So it's not backed by anything. It's a promise.
Yeah, right.
It's a promise to pay.
Yeah, it's been paid. It hadn't been paid by gold since like I think the late 60s.
Well, actually in the
late
60s, but it started in 1930 with the group of people.
A group of them.
A group of those folks that figured, let's change this system. So which reminds you of cryptocurrency right now, blockchain. Things change and they come up with a different name and a different way.
Right.
If we go back to affirmative action, now you know that the chamber is involved in assisting its members in being able to access more information so that they can grow business, access more resources so your business can grow, and access more tools. So as a member, these are the things that you will be able to do. You'll be able to access information, resources, and tools. And so what happens is, I just had one of them things. I had a
talking
point.
about
I had a point.
You had a senior moment.
accessing tools and
resources.
Okay. All right. Well, we're gonna keep.
You had a senior moment. Don't worry
I
about
did
it.
because I had something. You know how you talking to yourself, and then you talking out your mouth. Well, the talking out my mouth over.
Moving too fast to break. It's like I do it all the time.
It's
like
a holiday moment. It happens during the holidays.
Is that? Oh, no, it happened.
My brain shut down.
I was trying to give you a little out there.
Thank you for that help.
I'm gonna keep it real. That's what you had.
So, however, we were talking about international and money and cryptocurrency and coins, and that was the point I was making. We don't have gold backing our dollars anymore. And I remember seeing a dollar bill saying silver certificate. Now, what does the dollar bill say? Tender, right?
Yeah.
It's a federal note. That's what it's called now.
Okay.
But
there's nothing.
There's
no gold.
And it's not paid by gold anymore.
But however, the United States has been able to use its dollar as a measure of. So if you go to Belize, it's all based upon their currency is based upon the U.S. dollar.
Right. Right.
And so when your money is being sent around the world, it's sent in U.S. dollars. Y'all notice that? I mean, you don't get rubles and all that.
No.
The only place that doesn't accept U.S. dollars is Australia.
Really? You
Because
tried that?
I was in Sydney, and I was in I think a local mall. I was trying to get something to eat. So I go. I'm being an American. Go on and say, let me. Yeah, I would like to pay. I pull out American dollar. She like, oh, we don't accept that.
Oh
I had to go. I had to go
Really?
get some money
You have to
exchanged
go exchange it.
in my hotel,
And
little
they are
booth
the only country
that I
does
knew
not.
that I've traveled to that doesn't
Okay.
accept U.S. currency.
Right.
You know, but like Ghana, yes, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, you can
Yeah.
get so much with your money.
Yeah.
Same thing in South Africa.
Yeah,
You can
we
get
did
so
it in
much with your
Haiti.
money. Yeah, it was like,
Yes.
Yeah,
like
we didn't have any problem
yeah,
using. Matter of fact, it was like, oh yes,
yeah. In Brazil,
Everybody was
yeah,
gladly taking
because you have
dollars.
65. I forgot what they call it. It had a French word name to it, goods, I think, for $1 US, 60 Haiti dollars,
60,
65
Oh,
at that time
65.
in 2018. So I don't know what it is now, but 65 Haitian goods, I think is what they call it. It was French.
Right.
Okay.
Was make $1 US.
That's a lot. I thought South
Yeah.
Africa was a lot. I think it's 16 to
is that?
17 rand. You know, and I think
No, Haiti was
And this is
65.
60,
Ghana is
65.
13 or
But let's,
14.
what about taco? What girl? I said
Taco. It's a lunchtime. I mean, I feel
It is- It-
Peso
it's
is what
that
he said taco.
Peso was what I was trying to get out.
time. From pesos to tacos, somehow that meant
Yeah,
that
yeah. You need
Yeah.
pesos to get tacos.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you. I appreciate that. So, but basically, the more we were in Belize, the more we learned things that we needed to know in order to be able to do. This was the motto at the time:
Okay.
do good and make money. And you can do good and make money
Mhm.
because, as you
Mhm.
mentioned, as we've discussed, excuse me, money is a medium of exchange.
Yeah.
Right.
The more money you have, the more freedom
Mhm.
you have to exchange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And knowing what to do with that money, I think it ties into your financial background. You know, being financially
Mhm.
literate
Yes.
and knowing what to do with that money. You know, a
Mhm.
lot of times, and
Yes.
especially in our communities, we've been financially literate for a long time.
Yeah,
And not having money, I think is part of that. Problem
is,
because
yeah.
once you finally get some money, you come from a background not having money. It's like, man, what do I do with this money now? You know?
You seen
Yeah.
you seen the
You know,
lottery winners,
practices.
right?
Yeah, go
Yes.
broke. NBA
How
players.
do you, yeah?
Bankrupt.
How do you
Bankrupt.
how do you get $30 million and then 2-3 years later you are
It's
broke?
gone.
Don't know what to do with it.
No. And so it is important that you
Mhm.
that you have the right advisors, because most of these people do not get the right advisors. They get folks who coming in saying,
They're the
"Oh,
leeches.
this is easy money. I can get this money
Yeah.
really easy," because this person don't know,
'Cause it doesn't
don't
know.
have the background on what it means to be financially literate.
Yeah, because even if you allow your money just to sit in the bank, it's accruing X amount of interest every year.
Mhm.
You really don't have to do anything
Well, I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell
Well-
you, when I win the lottery, I'm creating a multi-million-dollar business.
for legacy.
Yes,
For legacy.
Yeah.
Generational wealth.
Generational wealth.
Look, when we build these businesses and make the investment in Belize and
Mhm.
internationally, we are creating careers. We're
Oh, yes.
creating
Yeah.
entrepreneurs. We're
Yes.
creating opportunities for folks to
Yes, you're the creator.
take that and then also hopefully educate the people on what to do now that you have this money.
Mhm.
So that has always been lacking, probably because part of the reason is they didn't have any money
Right.
to spend.
Well, yeah.
But now that you're getting quite more than you made before, how do you make that money last, and how do you create the opportunities for that to expand to your children and children's
Yes.
children?
Yes.
Allow your money to make money.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I think even being that these countries, whether it be Belize or any other country that they go to, they're seeing people from America come
Mhm.
over with a business on that also inspires them. People are
Yes.
interested in you.
Yes.
They want to help. Because some people are just leeches or parasites. They just going, what can I gain for myself?
Uh-huh.
That's not what it is for me. It's like,
No.
what can I do to do my part or play my part to
Mhm.
help
Mhm.
out our people throughout the diaspora?
Well,
Right.
you see in our office, in our corporate office, that banner that says partnering
Mhm.
for economic empowerment. That is our mantra when any country we go to. We're here to partner for economic empowerment for both sides,
Yes.
for us and for you. And you're right. It's
Mhm.
job creation. You're creating jobs. People will learn by, and like you said, Damien, they get inspired
Yeah. Give them
Yes.
hope.
by seeing you
Yes.
do something,
Right.
by seeing what it is that you do. So this is one of the things we've been able to grasp is that you don't have to have a lot of money to start. There are ways of, but you do have to, the money has to be there.
Yeah.
But there's
Right.
ways to get the money that is needed to put into the country, and then more money comes in.
Right.
The more, I mean, when you and Damien go over and Damien doing his 365 ideas,
Yes.
and you're doing that, whatever that training needs to be
Right.
done,
Right.
you'd be surprised how much more will come from you putting out there.
Mhm. Right.
Okay. So I'm excited. I can't wait to see you guys in Belize doing what, and you know, and Damien, you brought up something when we were there, 2 hours.
Yes. I can go there and back.
That's like
It's a hop,
setting
skip, and
something
a
up.
jump away.
Yeah, it's like setting up something in Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Austin.
gotta-
Basically.
So you're not far.
Right.
This was one of the things that did attract us.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
This was one of the reasons we were able to keep going back.
Because them long trips, they
Yeah.
get quite pricey.
Africa
Yes.
is
Trust
just
me.
a little longer.
Yes.
5G.
Yeah. Okay. So we
Wow.
Southwest Airlines from here, whoop, coming
Yeah.
back, hotel. And if you notice, the Best Western is there, the Ramada is there,
Yes.
the brands are there.
For
Yes.
sure.
So they've brought the hotels, those
Mhm.
brand hotels up. These are the only ones that's inland.
Right.
You need big flagships are
Mm.
on
On
the
the
island,
islands. Mhm.
and you know they cater to. And one thing I've learned from them, the flagships, they know who their customers are.
Mhm.
Those are the ones they cater to.
Right.
They don't change their program.
Yeah.
They don't change their vision. They're not
No.
gonna start doing racetrack running. They're not.
No.
They're
True
no.
to their brand.
They
Yeah.
that's it.
They know their target audience.
created a
Yeah.
brand.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so this is something that we learn by just paying attention. We you know, you grew up with hotels.
Mhm.
Right.
You know, we knew what hotels were. We've gone to some of them, went to parties or went to graduation, but you
Mhm.
never thought about that business itself and how it works. And so for us, we had to look at, we have a niche market. They have a niche market. And all a
Yes.
niche market means is you have identified a specific need and you're going to fill that need. So,
Yeah, and I think that's one thing that could really
Specifically
help
people.
spur growth development right there in Belize City
Mhm.
initially by having one of these hotels like right there that's on along the water. What's that place we went to? The Golden Bay. You know, it has
Yeah,
that restaurant
Golden
at the top.
Bay.
I'm like right
Yeah.
here because the water is like
right
right here.
there.
And you got a couple little clubs that's a little down the ways.
Mhm,
But I'm like,
mhm.
but if you get some big brand initially right there, or some nice hotel or
But you
boutique
don't
hotel
have to
right
get
there.
a big brand. You can
It
Oh,
doesn't
be a
have to
part
be
It
of
does
it.
have to be, or some
Yeah.
boutique
Exactly.
hotel like
Who
right
heard
there.
of Golden Bay?
I don't even know what they. I was like, what
It's
is
in
that?
Belize,
It's in
right?
Belize.
Right.
But they are doing it, and one of the things that they do cater to the Taiwanese community.
Mhm.
So whenever Taiwanese, is it
Taiwanese.
Taiwanese? What do you?
Oh, I don't know that.
Taiwanese, and we going to keep it
You
at
can
that.
sit down, okay.
Yeah.
Come to the country, they automatically
Yeah.
have a place that they know they can go and stay, and the restaurant is there.
Yeah.
They understand their market.
Yeah.
So in developing projects, sustainable projects
Mhm.
in Belize for the chamber members, every member has an opportunity. That is what we learn to look at. What is that niche market?
Mhm.
You know, the other beautiful thing, you mentioned the Taiwanese, but Belize is just like a huge melting pot of all these different cultures that
Yes.
have been
Yes.
brought together.
Mhm.
Yet the first language is English,
Mhm.
second is Spanish.
Well, the official language is English.
The
You can
official.
speak whatever language.
There's a lot of Creole,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it's
Mhm.
Creole basically, broken English.
Yeah.
But yes, the official
Mhm.
language is English.
Yeah.
So you can go somewhere out the country, you can connect with folks through language
Mhm.
and see a bunch of, brown and black and everything else in the mix
Yeah.
together,
Oh, yes.
living
Yeah.
harmoniously.
Yeah.
It's
I saw a
quite
few that I had to
interesting.
look
Yeah.
back on, like,
I'm telling you, I saw people look like my people.
Yeah,
But speaking English makes a great difference,
it's different.
you know,
It
because
gives you an advantage.
yeah, because when you go to different countries, whether it be say like Colombia for the most part, right? The language is Spanish. Language barrier is it hurts when it comes to communicating,
Yeah.
doing business. But when you go to a place that speaks English, it makes it so much better and easier for
Yes.
Americans. Right?
Yes, it does. And so, but I also have learned over these 17 years, I keep saying that because I want
Yeah, put that out there.
That's a big deal.
it's a big deal. The interpretation of words
Mm-hmm.
is a little different.
Mm-hmm.
And we've had to learn that.
Right.
You know how you say, you put on some cream on your face
Okay.
and you say, I would say it tighten. Somebody else says it stretches. But the stretching means tightening.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I had to,
Yeah.
we spoke a lot with different people, and we had to learn, well, wait a minute, our words, although it's English,
Right.
don't really mean
have
the
a
same.
different-
They have a
slightly
different way of
different meaning.
expressing
Yeah, it's
it.
a
Yes.
different interpretation.
Yeah.
Sometimes things that get lost in translation on
Yeah.
simple things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Then you have to break it down.
Right.
So sometimes you have to understand who you're talking to, because it's different cultures, even though they
Right.
speak
Culture.
English, but you have to be like,
Yeah.
okay, this is what I mean by that.
Yeah.
Prime example, I sent some
Yeah.
guys that I met in Ghana, like, hey, happy holidays to you and your family on WhatsApp. And one guy's like, oh, it's not my birthday. Then I had to break it down to him.
Happy
I said,
holidays.
and
Really?
I'm saying Merry Christmas to you and your family. I said, I
Okay.
usually don't say Christmas, generally
Okay.
speaking.
Right.
He texted back like, "Oh, I get it."
Yeah,
So
but
something
the
simple like
holiday
that.
was
Christmas, yeah.
So
for them, a birthday is a holiday.
yeah.
Okay.
So just
Yeah.
interpretation.
Yes.
And it also what I've learned, it humbles you
Mm-hmm.
to a place to where you're actually listened,
Mm-hmm.
and then you realize it. You become conscious
Mm-hmm.
of another individual, and
Yeah.
it's not, you're not the world.
Yes.
We're all a
Yes.
part
Of this
of
one.
the world, and it's such a learning. It's a great. I'm grateful whenever I meet anybody because they got something
Right.
to share.
I had that experience
Everyone
when I
has
went to
their story.
Brazil.
Okay.
And they speak Portuguese, right?
Okay.
Right.
And they thought I was a local. Everybody would come up to me speaking Portuguese. I'm like, no, Americano. They be like, oh, but and I took some time to reflect on that, kind of piggyback off what you just said. I was like, wow. I said, I can understand and how they feel when they come to America and they don't speak the language. And then someone trying to break it down to them like this what it means, and they're not really comprehending it because of the language barrier.
Right.
That's how I felt in that space.
Okay.
Right there with these, I'm
Yeah.
like, I mean, they would come up to me all the time. A couple of chicks. I wish I could have spoken.
Did you hear that?
Portuguese.
Couple of
I heard
chicks.
him. I heard him.
I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I was like, oh, Americano. She was like, oh, I was like, yeah, I'm sad too. In the club and on the street, I'm like, okay, but
There's still sign language.
yeah,
like,
yeah, but but I didn't want to do that. I was trying to keep it.
International language and body language.
I was keeping it
Words,
PG.
yeah.
Okay.
PG, but you know what I mean. But I'm just like, but I understand. But that's the beauty in traveling.
yeah.
Because you get
it
those
is.
experiences because it helps expand your
Yes,
horizon.
Yes.
And get yourself off your little, I call it the American elitism
Yeah,
pedestal that
yeah.
that we all,
we all are.
whether indirectly or directly, because
Mhm.
we're used to the certain standard
Yeah.
being here.
Yeah.
Go abroad is totally
Yeah.
different. But
Yeah.
but I love that.
Yeah. And I've
Yeah.
seen people that are opposite because you're in a country where it is not the same standards
Right.
that you
Right.
feel that should be.
You're throwing
And
that
then
nose
you
up.
become, you
bougie.
become all that
Yeah.
Yes.
and nothing.
Yes. And nothing.
And nothing.
At the same
Because
time.
because then you're leaving
Yeah.
and you haven't gained anything.
It's the elitism. But throw your nose up in the air. I'm
Oh
like,
yeah, these are. It's I saw it really blatant when we were in Haiti,
Okay.
and it was like, oh wow, oh look at them, look,
Mhm.
and I had such a humbling experience in Haiti where I teared up because I was full,
right.
Mhm.
and when we first got, have either one of you been to Haiti?
No, I want
Well,
to
but
go.
you know you've been to
Okay.
Nigeria, right?
No, haven't been.
Okay. Traffic is utterly
Ghana.
a nightmare.
Yeah.
Okay.
Belize, I will
That's
kiss
nothing.
I will kiss the
That's
road
nothing,
in
huh?
Belize. In Haiti, oh my
Wow.
God, there's no lines in the road.
Ghana.
And everybody is moving. You got 6 million people in a small little area, and they driving and they getting get out the they
So
blowing their
is it
horns.
like people could come in opposite directions?
Oh honey, well
On
they
both
well
sides
one
of
of the
you?
things that we did learn that they now go one way.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, but there are some roads where there's not the one way. It's the two way. So the person go on. You know how we have sidewalks?
Mhm.
There's no such thing. Those are not sidewalks. Those are I'm going around you on the
my
grass.
goodness.
On the, so but what I did, what I noticed, guys, which made it such a humbling experience, was there was no road rage.
Isn't that something?
There
Wow.
was no road rage. People were crazy. I mean, people was jumping in front of people, driving across.
That's the norm. That's just the norm.
And there was no. Now you let that happen
Oh,
here,
it'd be a problem.
we would have
Breaking news.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would be how many people got killed
Yeah.
today, and that was something that said to me, these people, this is their culture. They
Mhm.
respect each other.
Mhm.
They know they got to get from A to Z.
Mhm.
I gotta get in front of you right now. And the person like, okay, go ahead. And they would, well, and now, when you are doing a trade mission, you actually have some government
Yeah.
um interaction, right?
Sure.
So we get picked up in a government vehicle. The person sitting that's driving is one person. The person sitting over here has a AK-47 rifle, and you're like, you need that.
Wow.
But
Wow.
oh my, it was like you never
Not used
seen
to
it.
seeing that.
You don't see
Right.
people here riding around with they may hang it in the back of their
Right,
vehicle,
Right.
Right.
but not like
Right
this.
there.
Yeah.
Ready.
Ready. And I'm like, oh my God. And so what happens was because we were in the government vehicle, they have a horn that goes
Oh yeah.
and everybody move over.
Part like the Red Sea.
They move over to let us, and then they go right on back. I mean, I was that. I I'm just still experiencing it right
Yes.
now.
Yes.
But that was the most humbling experience to see people hustling and bustling and not being enraged.
Right.
Yeah, you need to get where you need to go. Okay, bye. Get over there. I'm going over here, and I hope that one day you can see that traffic.
Right.
You know how we have traffic here?
Yes. And people go crazy with this traffic.
Oh yeah, they do. You
Yeah.
you cut in front of somebody, or you drive on the side of the road. I mean, it was, and then there was one highway, but everything else, the roads were, I would say, no more than 2 cars could actually go down the
Oh,
road.
wow.
But they made 3 lanes.
They just created a
Yeah.
third.
Like this is what we're gonna do.
And in some places,
Some space right here.
yeah, in some places they created a 4th lane.
Making it happen.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
and that was humbling
Right.
for me to just, because I sit there and I'm like I said, I'm in the vehicle with this AK-47, whatever you call it,
AK-47.
and
Yeah.
but I don't see any. I'm looking at the people who are riding on the street and people who are walking,
Mhm.
and nobody is enraged. And that was humbling for me, just to see different people and how they handle
Yeah.
life.
It's incredible.
Yeah, it was truly.
Even when you travel, you see people that have less resources and making a way and living comfortable, and in their terms, compared to, say, Americans over here. We have all this, all
Right.
the freedom and all this and that, and we're complaining. And the people over here, don't even
Yeah.
have clean water to drink
Right.
or bathe in or whatever,
Right.
and they making do.
Yeah. Well, you know what? They're living.
They're living.
We
They're
say
living.
make and do, but
But
they're
they're living.
experiencing.
Right.
They're experiencing life.
Yes.
And we don't. But like you say, if you don't see these things outside of the U.S., you won't find that center in you to where now you're like, okay, I get it.
Right.
Yeah.
I get it. But as long as you're here, you're programmed in a different way.
Yeah.
And I had to tell some people sometimes, we're here. What? How long? How old is America? 200 something years old.
Yeah. 200.
More than, yeah.
It's about 200 years
More than
old.
that.
Yeah.
It's more than that.
Yeah. What? 1777. They
So
were
19. So it's a little over. So about
quote
250.
unquote when it was founded.
Okay,
yeah.
so somewhere
Founded.
around the 250s,
Yeah,
right?
250s.
It used to be a developing country.
What have they developed lately?
But the
Yeah.
point was,
yeah.
if you had came over
Yeah.
on the Mayflower, what would you?
Oh, the Amistad.
Okay, I know.
What did you come to?
What would you see?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Here you have these people come over, 13 colonies,
Mhm.
and they looked at the Indies and said, "Oh, we're gonna help you out, change your life."
Yeah.
Oh, that's another whole.
Yeah.
topic.
Don't even get me
That's
started.
another
Because
topic.
You know,
I'll start on
That's
that.
imperialism,
another topic.
colonialism.
Yeah,
and all that.
I had to stop.
Because even like
I
you're saying,
will.
because I've seen slums in like Brazil and
Yes.
here recently in Ghana and South Africa. Then I come back to the States. I'm like, what we call ghettos and projects, it fails in comparison to what you see in other countries. I mean, Brazil, for example, in Rio, for the most part, they don't have indoor plumbing. They have these big blue containers on top of them. I want to say home, but it's really a shack or in their favelas is what they call these.
Okay.
Okay.
Where they had to collect rainwater and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
And then they have these PVC pipes that run into the homes where they use for, cooking and cleaning and bathing and all that. And I'm just like, oh my God. I mean, you could smell the stench coming into downtown Rio. 'Cause I stayed in Copacabana Beach. But I'm like,
you can, but they didn't.
but they didn't. But I'm, me,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
my God. And I'm like, man, we talk about slums. I'm like, this is nothing compared when you go back home. You're like, oh man, you need to see that over there.
Well,
there's always different
when
degrees.
you see something so different, like you said, that this is not bad.
Right.
That is bad.
Yeah.
It also humbles you
Yes.
to see where, you know what, I must have work to do.
Mm-hmm.
There's something that I must be doing for me to even be exposed to something so different from. This is why traveling is an awesome thing,
Yes,
Damien.
it is.
It really is. So you get to see, you get to know, you get to be grateful,
Definitely,
and you get to be able to see how you can be of a blessing to somebody else.
Yeah.
Because they didn't see what you saw.
Right.
No.
What was you doing?
The other interesting thing is that you talked about what they have, how they're living in these other countries. And for the folks in Belize, it's like there's a lot of folks that don't have much, but they are happy people.
Yes.
They are very happy people, and it's like, you don't see a whole lot of folks complaining, but it's like, imagine what next level that they can get to with additional resources.
Yeah. It's growth.
That we can
That's
help
why I bring up America. At one point in time,
it started from.
You didn't have
off
no
like this,
Yeah,
right?
it didn't look like
it.
it.
You didn't have no public toilets.
That's facts. You had outhouses. If that, if you didn't have to dig a hole.
Yes.
Because a lot of time I think people often look at the end result of something. Even and today, even in you see people online talking about you can do this. Look what I'm doing. Look at my life. I'm like I say before, the naive people they'll easily get finessed and believe in it. I said there are many steps to being a successful business person. You don't always start where Elon Musk is. Or
but wait a minute, think about it. Elon Musk started somewhere.
Okay. You said that because I have some of my buddies I talk to all the time about hey, I want to do this, I want to do that, I'm waiting for this time, the perfect time. I said, well, you're gonna forever wait for the damn perfect time if you keep waiting. I say, well, jump your butt off the porch.
Oh, that's a good one.
And figure some things out as you go.
There is no perfect time.
I say, because you have to get started.
Yes.
The time
is now.
Right now. You do not know about the next second.
at all.
What's gonna happen?
When you
Mhm.
started Tri-County Black Chamber of Commerce, it was a thought.
It was the thought was, how can I be instrumental in doing something or bringing about a change that needs to happen?
Mm.
That was a thought.
That was a thought.
Then you
But
put
then
it,
you had to take action.
implement.
And then when you took action, it wasn't what it is today.
No,
Right.
So everything
No.
needs nurturing and development.
it grows.
to
You
get to
know
where
the
it
you
is.
know the prime example of life is when new life comes in. Baby is born. That baby is born with everything it needs.
Facts.
Everything it
Mhm,
needs.
mhm.
There are 5 things that it will do. It will express itself.
That's for sure.
Yes.
It will express itself. It will eat.
Mhm.
It will move. It will walk, and it will talk. And it moves right along. Look at a tree. You plant a seed. The first thing you see is a little sprout. Next thing you know, now look at the tree.
Yeah.
So we are also the same thing
Yes.
as the
Mhm.
tree.
Mhm.
The seed was there,
Yeah.
germinated, right? And here,
Right.
bloop, here we come. And we know everything there is to know. But guess what happens? We are deprogrammed.
Yes. And we live in this microwave society
Mhm.
where people want things instantly. I say you don't want to work for it. I say, house is built with the foundation first. You don't start with the roof, do you?
No.
I start the ground.
Right.
The house ain't built in the air. It
Right.
ain't built in the sky.
No.
It's built on that ground.
So
Even when you plant the seed has to
Go
go
in
under
under something.
under
Yes.
before it can come up and
Mhm.
sprout
Yeah.
up
yeah, in the right soul.
in the right soil.
Yeah. And we
So-
know the biblical aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mhm.
thorny ground, the fertile ground, and the rocky ground. Thorns gonna choke it.
To death.
Rocky can't even get a root going.
Right.
But the fertile. So who are we?
Right.
We're the fertile ground to help somebody else, to bless. I won't
Mhm.
say help.
Yeah. To
Because
bless.
I used to tell my kids help is temporary.
Hmm.
So I gotta stick with that one.
Yeah.
To
With
bless somebody.
blessings.
So it's a blessing. And the more you travel and the more business that you know what's your desires that you're going to put out there,
Mhm.
that is what you were meant to do. It's
The
already in the
beautiful thing-
records.
The
Yeah,
beautiful thing
it's-
is it's two-way. You know, you're blessing somebody else, but you're getting blessed
Honey,
back
you
100
can't-
times over.
You know what I had to tell
Amazing.
people? I had to tell members, and I don't know if I haven't had a
How's
chance
that
to tell
time?
you.
Yeah.
Okay. Is you give to receive. That's why you give. To receive. If you're not giving, you're not looking to receive, are you?
That's
Mhm.
true. You know?
Okay, because you've heard this saying, forgive me, audience, it's better to give than receive. It's a little mixed up there.
Mhm.
You give to receive. It doesn't mean I'm going to give you this $10 and I'm going to receive $10 back from you. I'm going to give you this $10 because I know that I'm giving, and whatever it is I need will come
Yeah.
because it's
Yes.
cause and effect.
Yes.
I'm giving,
It will
I'm going to
come back
receive. I'm
tenfold.
giving, I'm going to receive. So this is why a lot of people don't give, because they don't believe they will receive,
Yeah.
because they don't understand the concept of giving. Well, I guess we are giving right now. Y'all,
Yes,
we're
we are.
giving something to you today. You receive it. So I'm going to say we're going to talk. Let Diane give a brief. Let the audience know what it is you do, how they can
Okay.
contact you,
Okay.
if you have a website or email
Yes.
address. Okay.
Yes. So you can reach me. I'll start off with how you can contact me. I am at dbbowderyenterprises.com is the website. And my email address is info@dbbowderyenterprises.com. I just want to spell Bowdery out.
Yes.
So my name is Diane, Dianne, and then Bowdery is BOWDERY. Dary. And what we do at DB Bowery Enterprises is we focus on government contracting. So we are general contractors, and we focus on education and training, and we also focus on general maintenance.
Thank you.
Yes.
Very good. So y'all got that. All right. Damien.
Again, this is Damian Lawson. I'm the founder and CEO of 365 Ideas, which is a full service marketing and advertising agency. You can contact me at my email address, which is Damien, and that's spelled DAMIEN at THREE, the number 6, the number 5 .marketing. And my web address is THREE, the number 6, the number 5 ideas .marketing. You can also contact me on my cell phone directly at 281-978-0368.
You want to repeat your number again?
And again, my number is 281-978-0368. Thanks.
Very good. Okay. Well, listen, I have truly enjoyed this. Normally we run out of stuff to talk about, but we still got stuff to talk
I
about.
can go on all
We're
day.
not through, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to end by thanking our President's Club and Chairman Club members for making this podcast possible. And that is Amico Federal Credit Union, Enlightening Enterprises, Lamar Institute of Technology, Lone Star College, the Linwood Group, and Quality Provision Coatings. But I forgot, we also have one new President Club member, and that is Mr. Hopes. I'm just going to say, Mr. Hopes, if you listen to this, next time I will have it written, and I will be able to. I think it's first priority financial, but Mr. Hopes, forgive me, but next time you'll be on the paper. All right. So thank you very much, Diane and Damien, for being here. And we had a great time in Belize.
Thank you.
But what is our statement? What goes on in Belize
stays in Belize.
But we will share it when it comes to business. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.